Hola bafethu, and welcome to Take Me Through Your Journey with the one and only MABOKOTHO bafethu. Autiakasi mfethu, Autiakasi Freedom Squared, the dark man, yeah? Who's that?
Wait.
Abachaya san.
Papa.
Yeah, I answered it as honest as I can.
Hola bafethu. Welcome to episode 4 of Take Me Through Your Journey with MABOKOTHO, the one and only bafethu. Yeah, ke Free State remnati. Rejamunati every day. And today we have a very interesting conversation with one of our own, a man who's so passionate about radio. And what I love about him, it's being honest to Sesotho language. I don't know why I get work as a whore. Stumaiza Machakela.
Hello, Papa.
Omonati.
Ke monata ke le tshi.
Taba ke yo. Mara ke bone ka Facebook so chinchila o sa le cardiologist.
Tate ke male best.
David.
Ya mosadi wa ha.
We nabuhle.
Male best ya mosadi wa ha.
O butla pele hle monna.
Ke o bolelle.
Wa tseba lona ba fethu le regisa ka di pipe. Ka di pipe mre.
O se ketsa lo tlo wa kgea ka pla di camera.
Jale mntjetse a konjetse o na le mosadi ya ke rentse.
Nope.
Ke ka o kgonang o freelance.
Na tsa ke tsama ke bitsa bo kanqena.
O wa tshwara a pitcho. Anja.
Bizarre.
Talking of that, take me through your love life, doc.
Re se qala ka love life it la.
Okay.
No love life e ko emisipi. Okay, love life ke a jola MABOKOTHO.
Okay.
Ya ke sa freelancer fela ke freelancer ha ke le free mara ke a jola.
All right. And you are a father.
Ke ntate.
On ntate wa motho. How does it feel, doc? Hoba ntate.
Hoba ntate wa motho for na hola change tsele ke bona dintho ka yona ne. I knew hore ha ke sa etsa dintho fela just for the fun of it. But tla me ke di etsentse ke nahana hona le motho e mong e le hore o shebile ho nna ene o tla sheba ho nna ene ke batla shebe ho nna.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And you doing radio, ne? I don't know if there's something else that you're doing kantle already. Hona le ntho ngwa hape.
I'm employed ke sebetsa company nngwe ke Jason.
Cool, man.
Jason was a carpenter. Ke carpenter ka batla ke re carpenter.
Sure. And since our days tsa Kovsie, I only knew you ka lerato la radio. And I don't know, back then radio in South Patan, you did it out of passion.
Passion.
Cool. So, being a father, kiona e chinchileng hore o ska hlola o focus on radio alone, because at the end of the day, o tlameha mo support financially. Waibo hore mewa ya ska isa pap geld.
It's not about taba ya hore ke lega be se ke tlameha jwale ke mo support and what not.
Cool.
What's at some point when we realize hore dilemo dia tsamaya ya manako ha ya ema stay.
Yeah.
So you have to hobele ntho se beletsang ho yona hona le ntho le go tlamelo tlo isia le wena o sana.
Cool. Skera rasa ka passion fela, but that passion is not paying you or doing you good.
Passion o ka iphusha MABOKOTHO.
Cool.
For nako e itseng.
Sure.
Hona le nako yana mo passion le yona e fitlang shwa e kgathala e hloka motivation.
Sure. Sure.
So hangata when it comes to radio, haholo di community radio, haholo Free State.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get tseba dia patala ka 1000. Haholo Free State mona ke temo ke tseba di a hana. Wa bona passion ha e fitla mane mo e kgathala e hloka motivation. And once motivation o so le siyo o tlamea o lo batla somewhere else.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. And talking of that, you did radio from the your high school days, and then we always say bophelo bo qala after matric, right?
Yeah.
Now that uqedile sigela and you are doing what you love, but this thing hayo patala, and then how sana 5 ranta ye le ne ba o fa yona ho ya sekolong, ke pressure e feng e tlang le that?
Ha re qale mona be radio ha ka iqala ke la high school as such ya professional kapa ka re ina le frequency.
Cool.
I started radio ka MABOKOTHO. Ne ke na le mic, ke rekile mic and everything. Ne ke tsa di show each and every day.
We get the show.
Ke tsa show ke recorder.
Already o shebella the audience. Who was your audience?
He mona audience ya ka ene le majita ne ke recorder ha ke qeta di recorder motshiare ha ntse ke Bloemfontein ho sna mo kileng ke a bapala da ke letsitse dintho.
Oh,
Ho utlwahala nna.
nice.
So tabeng ya njizaka ne. Hey, MABOKOTHO re tswa hole ka bophelo. Ke motho wa tlosha.
Ke radio.
Yo.
Sure.
So nakong eno cause ho no sna next year kena. Le o pula le batho jalo le ka tlumba se ba qala ba o sheba ka tsile mo.
We're talking after matric now.
Again.
Cool.
I did radio straight ka 2011 after matric.
Sure.
Ka ke radio. Ka qala radio tla re ke se ke kena radio ne ke le CUT by that time ntse le ka campus
in fair.
again. So hana kwentse ya MABOKOTHO yana le meshapang taba tšhelete. Na le meshapang ha ke batlu go betsa ha bohloko because of now le bo ka tlung jwale se le banthwane ya re ke se hlole re kgona ho neletsa bokana because of jwale o tlamya o etse plan o bona hore le wena o tswa jwa.
Sure.
I had to walk every day go tloa Freedom Square ho ya CUT.
That's 10 Ks. Where Freedom is to town, it's 10 Ks. You go in there, walk, dog.
And it gets a show ya hour ka nako e hopola.
Onoela hour fela da and come back. So when you get there and the atmosphere is different, utlilo walka.
Yeah.
Hona le batho ba noticing that ntanga o tlile a walka. Maybe dieta di putswa. What do you do when you get there?
Ne ke di phumula MABOKOTHO. But now hona le batho ba mbelo ga ho kopana le bona, you end up o dula fatshe le bona o qoqa montsha tsa situations tsa ka ke ise. Wa bona I can say kapanka le bo batho ba tshwana le bo AZ Moreng.
Cool.
AZ ke kopana lena I think it was 2012.
Yeah.
Hana join a CUT. Ke mo batho le re ke la ka khona o qoqa le ena re bua radio ke a fumana go motho o phela radio e hema radio.
Cool.
O phela bophelo bo ke bophela bo ke batla lena.
Sure.
AZ was able to assist me. Ke mo batho na khona o nthusa ka transport hore ke tloe mona ke ya kwana hantle.
And then I know hona le mohlang le hona friendship a perfect, so to say. And then hona le mohlang re sa dumellaneng ka something. Hona mohlang ba di tsosa ntho tse tsa hore ibile ka mo assista this guy.
Hell to the no.
Cool.
Shout
out to AZ Moreng ne.
AZ to hema radio phela radio mavukutu.
Yeah. Now mfethu uko CUT FM halna frequency ne? Le broadcaster for campus FM. What makes you say I want to leave or I want to go bigger now? Cause ke hopola from CUT you went to Kovsie. What e tla jwang tweo king you susumetsa ntho se ke batla ho ba ko Kovsie FM.
Watswa ya Kovsie ha ka lo next plan.
Yeah.
Ke ntho iketsa haletseng fela. Ya hore ka tsatsi le leng fela o na le ntwane o go tsuwe o lo sheba da dintsha.
Sure.
Dila bona. Hape ile ka taba ya batho ba tshwana le bona bo AZ bo Didi Majoro bo DJ Crispy. Batho bana ba re hemon o batla mo. O batla mo wa sa radio ngena le frequency utlwahale ka ofela ke batho mona.
But ba aba o botsa potso tse, is it based on what you are delivering, talent ya hao or discipline ya hao? What ke eng e etsa ba o botse potso eo?
I think discipline, talent le consistency. Because talent ha ile ngwa hana ntho e ka ba etsa yona.
Yeah.
Personality ya hao le yona hona le mo accountang haholo. wa bona hore o fumane support o tswa bathong ba bang. Yeah, I think it's one to ba di shebile ho nna cause I was always there. Pula ena e sane ke tlile ka maoto, I was always there. And ha ke fitla mo ne ke tsa ntho ke etseng mo because of ke ntse ke tseba hantle hore ke batlang.
Now, how decide ho ya da? Like you saying, it was not planned. Just wake up one day and then you go there. Where's alang how fitla da? Cause surely how ya ka CV or demo. What do you do when you get there? Because I think Ibla ni show ya sotinele siko then.
Bala yetsa ke special.
Sure.
So, e re go qoqela story se qabolang pele. Before ke ka tsoa jwalo ke decide ya Kovsie. There was a day I just woke up. Ya upola ne ke sa spana ke sa etseng e le yona taba ya go ntse ke ya city. I woke up ka hlapa o seng ka tsoa ka ya Kovsie FM.
Cool.
And ka ke sa tlo bona management ke sa tlo bona ma.
Sure.
All I wanted was ho ya dai ke eme khalaseng ke shebe motho ka studio ke jekele kasi.
Sure.
Come out. I stood there and ke la ka ipona ke le ka da. Ha ke eme mo khalaseng and from that fell I was satisfied ke le ding. Ka tloa ka jekela kasi. Ne, and then ka lo rapella ntwina.
Man, let me get this straight.
Hallelujah.
Otwa Freedom Square.
Yeah.
O ya UOFs.
Yeah. Come out.
O lo shebella. Ha o lo shebella presenter.
No.
O lo shebella the equipment ko re
Lo sheba fela hore studio sena se sebetsa jwang.
just to see yourself. Jeez.
Ore ke ipona ke le ka mo. Kelelo tsa rona di powerful maboko.
Yeah.
Kelelo tsa rona re khona o tseba dintho tse tlo etsala le before di etsala. They might not happen the way re di batlang ka teng kapa ka nako e re di batlang ka yona, but they are gonna happen.
Sure.
La di sa etsagale exactly ka mokgo re di bone ka teng, but di tlo etsahala.
Cool.
Ntho e etsang hana jwale ha wa tswa fela e be se etsahala.
Cool.
Hona le ntho e etsahetseng ka kelello. So sometimes you just have to set your mind straight. O be kelello ya hao ntho. Ho to ntho ha o e nahana haholo. O focus ho yona haholo, and by focusing ho yona haholo we fa matla. If only the negative thoughts and o focus out on haholo o di fa matla di rula bophelo ba hao. So this the same way e sebetsa le ka toro ya hao.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about your first radio show. Kovsie. You are now broadcasting for Motheo Mren. Your first show.
Wena no ibile re ka le mona be he ho ya ha ka Kovsie ke le ka kopana le Fana Mini.
Sure.
Ka fumana go ntse le ka re ke ra kopana na le na radio station e nyengwe.
Cool.
So ka fumana hore da amplela ka di class tsa bona tsa weekend tse ba di attenda. I attended the class.
Cool.
Di etswa ke Kovsie le Tiger Tail. So ka attenda ya ka kopana le bon Kovsie ba ntse ba ka train ya ka train.
Sure.
Until na be ke ya ho bona ke re dimphe moya. Mphe ho neng ke tla mo.
Ese o nkile nako e kae roughly nje?
I think
Haona.
ke nkile kgwedi tse tharo.
O ntse attend di class.
Tse ke attenda di class le tsona ne ke di attenda ka maoto.
Damn it.
It's funny bilana ha ke bua tjena Kovsie una postile ka yona the other day.
Lately.
Are hore ba mpele slotong seno sa mesong sa 3 to 6 am. Bane bana hanne ke tlanya hama. Because of bona ke la ba kena shem. Ke la ba kena tjena. Ke ba bontsha re ke batla ntho.
Wena Morena. Every radio o sebeditseng ho yona. O ila tlamea o feta o sloto sena sa mesong.
Sa mesong sena. Se bile ke se etsa hana jwale ha.
That's why I'm asking this cause I go pull out sharp. I once saw your post on Facebook to say ke tlo kena no ka 3 o hlela ka 6 o seng. A di menye. Mona ke di menye Morena. Ya inesa tsotsi.
Tanginda. And later nyane eno butsitsi ya hore na first show ya ka ene le jwang.
Sure.
Ne ke tswile. When net but now after introduction ke le ka etsa ka hopola Fana Mini la nshaba ka mahlong a re ya. Onana le Isonic ba re ya. Wa tseba ntho e tletseng mona.
Jeez.
And le response e ke la e bona from batho ba ne ba maetse show ka nako eno. I knew hore ke tlamea ke tlo etsa ntho e kgolo ke tlo etsa tabe e kgolo.
And then Motheo, at that time Ole do ring, time or ring. When you
Well,
come back, kapo
well-
when you leave home, oya ko show ngoba blela hore fanda ga bosiu mesong. Ke tlo ke.
Well, unfortunately, already ha khona ho bona all of these things.
Cool.
Cause ka hopola hane ke la school kids primary modimo. Jwale se ke ba le grade 7 high school. Yeah, ha qetela ka December, ka November actually. Mazali ka hlokahala, so she didn't get to experience all of this.
All this there.
So time ala bona, but he was like, okay, wazam. It's up to it. And but now kai se tata benyane ya transport. Kai le hona mo iqala e ba le mathata o twa wena o sudla ga stika transport jwale. Tlela ntwentse o etsa. The only time ba le ba qala ba enka serious. The only time ba le ba qala ba tlala ba re how to ke transport be ba le ka le bona ka bojohlo re beteng. It was when mahlane ba qala ba nkutwa ke tsa afternoon drive CUT. And ka tsatsi la ka la pele ka show ya ka ya pele
Ka di 90.
okay. That is when they said, wow. Ntwena wa e batla, ntwena wa e tswaletswe, and ntwena wa e phela.
They tell you these words when you get back home. How did you feel, dog?
Hey, what's up? I made it in life.
What's up, dog? I'm asking you this because not personally. I've never had my mom or my father alone shebella when I do what I love. Yes, mesebetsi mo kilampona yena ya di camera and what. But doing comedy or emceeing, you know, those are the two things that I say I master them. I've never ban shebella. So always when I see you guys doing these things, that's the first thing that comes to my mind, or is Stumaiza, when you give me an interview ko show nya and we talk, sometimes ntotse o di atlikare batswadi ba di mane ba ikutlwa jwang, but ha di mane a pusha so like hemna you just flow, dog.
Thank you, Dad.
You just flow, you go down
Thank you, Dad.
blind. And what I love about you, it's it is said hore every Sesotho broadcaster or presenter go community level or campus o batla tshwana le batho kare.
It's something I like I bua ka yona haholo ke khalemela batho ka yona haholo. Khale ke poster le ka tabena na khale ke rwakua MABOKOTHO. And I don't mind ho rwakua hape hosane.
Sure.
Radio e hloka wena o be wena. That's all. Rena le mentality ona na kapa mindset wa hona hana hore because of oya radio you have to sound a certain way.
Cool.
Why o sa sound jolo ka wena?
Cool.
Momamedi a rate wena le seo leng sona. O utlwa ke slow jam jwang la ke bua.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted Momamedi to fall in love with.
And you hosted 3 to 6 for a holo.
No, I did it for a year.
Cool.
How
many kinako a year? Kinako
dog. And then kabeki bona hore you know what? Sharp radio ke rata, but now if ke sena ntwe booster financially ke tlo dula ntse ke tsa ntwe tshwana mehlena le mehlena. So ke hloka motivation e re nna ke motivate nna since mona motivation o le siyo ke iketsetse ntwe tla motivator so that ha ke hloka ho ya radio ka nako itseng ke kgone ho ya mo ka nako eno ke batlang ke sena stress. O kilo shapwa ke depression because of ntwe e rata.
What are you saying, dog?
MABOKOTHO ke bua Sqaured se seholo ha o no understand. O kilo shapwa ke depression because of ntwe e rata.
Take me through that.
Ne ke ya studio nka maoto. And there was a point where I was like, you know what, I need to leave home.
Where are you now? Motheo FM, CUT?
No, Hana CUT. Kana kotseno tsa afternoon drive.
Okay.
You know? And I experience a life experience again.
Sure.
Depression because of now. Kids and twiggy rata. But how na next year tlang ho tswa ho yona. You know, it's like ntse ke pusha ntwe lengwe ha ke kopana le batho ba thabile hore ha mona o etsa mosebetsi o motle and what not, but when you look at yourself
fame
when you look at yourself, Mabokotho, icheba ufumana gore mara ha ke na dieta, ha ke na bodugo, ha ke na skipa. I keep on doing this, you know. And empolaileng kana depression e ke fitileng go yona kana go is that sharpo ne ke ba emotional ha ke le one. There were times tse ne ke lla ka tsona ke le one. Ke ipotsa gore ke renta demodimo ga batho ba re ke a petetsa wa yo sa dire plan.
Yeah.
Wa bona. But every time I ke a show le teng ho ya ke le depressed. But as soon as ke bulela mic yole ho nona le khotso ele, that peace e sa tsebeng e tla kae e tlang immediately with a smile.
Jeez.
Because of ne ke etsa ntho e ke e ratang and ke etsa ntho e ke e ratang.
On that note, dog, now you are famous. How tsibuwa ke batho ba babedi ya odimo, you are famous to me. O tsibuwa ke batho, dog. I don't know. O tsibuwa ke batho and you have, let's say, ha ke tsebe ke bea ka tsele hantle kapo. You are famous and you have nothing to show. We fumaning through this fame.
Yeah.
Did that contribute to your depression?
How whole it contributed a lot because now hona le batho ba bang e re ha o ka tla o jeka o tswa tse o ntse o bua le bona hantle o tlo mo sa amara motho a le gym, you know. But at the same time I think ke yona engwe ya ntho tsela tsa gona o etsa gore ke be le character ke na le yona. It humbled me haholo wa bona gore ke dule ke tswa gore mona ke bophelong dintho di ka change anytime, but o tlamea o dule le wena le batho ba ka o sheba ka tsela tse itseng fanda ge lena ba o bona tjena ho sane ba o bona tjena wa bona. But now it contributed haholo le nthong ya gore ke iphumana gore okay ke batla go ruta batho ba bang radio,
Cool.
ke batla go kenya batho ba bang radio,
Cool.
wa bona ke batla go ba ruta hore radio is what you live more than 2 years in studio. Yeah.
And about 2 years back, I think, on that note, tell us about that. You took that very serious. Taba ya go batla go ruta batho ka radio. What did you do for motho a sa tsebeng? Because I know that you did 1, 2, 3, but I know because I've observed you from a distance. Silence ke checkila. Oh, 2 years 1, 2, 3 is doing good. Tell somebody who doesn't know what did you do to contribute and teaching people.
Well, this was after I left CUT.
Cool.
So
do you mind sharing?
I do not mind it.
We'll get back to that.
So I decided, you know what? Since into a passionate and I always get people asking me hore ke kena joang radio ke wa bona ntho tseno, and I decided hore e re ke etse ntho let me share myself even more le batho feta the way ke shareang ka teng ha ke le on air, you know. Ke ntho gore ne ke batla fela o ifumana ke multiply le so that ho be le mark e ke isiang bathong ba bang bophelong ba bona ka tsatsi le le. And I got interviews bo Motheo, shout out to Kovsie, gave me an interview, Motheo Masakala, and then I got people ke le workshop ka batho ba 7 bekeng ya pele. Before kgwedi fela I had more than 25 people ba de batla workshopong weekend eng wileng ka mona ka Comtech sekolong sa Comtech. And hana jwale I have more than 11 presenters ba tswa workshopong ba di radio station ntse ding.
Were they paying you something, not necessarily to say we are paying you, but were they giving something?
Nope. Saletsa molodi.
Jeez. Hemana wa rata already.
Ha bohloko.
Let's go back to the juicy stuff. How do you leave CUTFM? Because for me, CUTFM was your life, man. Was your home. CUTFM, I thought CUTFM made you because you felt in love with a listener at CUTFM, with the shows you hosted.
Well,
with the brand on its own.
Kore ibilene le batho ba bua ka nna ba ne ba sena bua ka nna kapa ba ba sena bua le nna be ba sa bua ka the brand,
Yeah,
you know.
that's me. I was saying, ke batla ha ke ile ko Kagiso, ke bolela uthiaka. E mona la uthatlatlang le mo bulele da. Ke Tebo Tumelo Machakela wa CUTFM. Always like that. Even now.
Even le se ke vaile. Well, the way ke tsamileng ka teng ho no se monate at all.
Cool.
Okay, I got a job. I had to leave the afternoon drive. The salary was good. I couldn't stay. So katsamaya, and then I came back. Kamarana konyana. This was after I went through a hijacking Gillespani. I got a gun. It was pointed right here at my head. Nigga travel a whole look at the truck and whatnot. And when I got back from that trip, everything yak. I told Batwan, I'm done. Gaspani salon. And I was going through a depression again. I had chele teneke se vile kirikito stadia. Kijele. There were times I would go to a guest house for weekend, take a guest house, and buy drinks in Yana kilo equal guest house and Kirobaleda.
Mikey.
No.
Alone, Jay. Sure.
I was going through into a little next understanding. I would wake up, King Kachela take off like Yako. The shop restaurant and say plate for I was depressed. Can say Antuna Dijon Zena.
That's why we love in the car.
So yeah. And then I went back on radio. Well, went to therapy for 2 weeks and I was like, this is not for me. I'm not white.
Yeah.
You know. So then CUT Kafumana show weekend breakfast. I was excited about the show. I did it only once.
You lie.
Then baking getting. I sent a message to the programs manager. I tried to communicate Facebook, WhatsApp. If an unlocker for standing on but this time it became a problem. I can send a message Facebook inbox
regarding spam.
Yeah, I'm not gonna come because of 1, 2, 3. You know, and I was suspended for the bake. And so to the meeting, I kept on going there, and because there's a postpone and I realized maybe I can
yeah.
And then I resigned.
What do they say to you when you resign now? Well, how about you, Tare? I feel like I get at the moment.
I've learned a lot. I've had a lot of fun. Thank you very much for the platform. I'm gone.
Did they contact you?
Hell to the no.
Jeez. And the relationship of work?
At that time, the relationship between Nale programs manager was not good at that time.
Cool.
And it was not good at that time because Gahopola it's had one I believe Lemonsona says 2017. And you know, but what never when done Gawena and Difumana defeat and Tozena, and some of them would watch a lagua fellow so. I did look attention. Yeah. But at some point we feel our why so why how nale number tsaka also contacting now but
you know me.
You know, I contacted this other guy and he apologized and cool. The other one haki mubutsa dipotso kaba chiki and nakos ke sile le nna ka ke morwaka.
You working together go CUT?
No, in the second time
I was CUT, sure.
So I was like it's a my lo batlang ho nna hape.
Jo MABOKOTHO. Plus of freedom.
You know, so yeah, man.
Sure.
So I can't give a and the relationship is even more. And Kanakweno, well, he had power.
Cool.
And Anna Leona, Ahona Weleba, Trabajusa things about nuts excited to be. most of them, you know. Ke a qala ke lwana le batho ke sa ba tsebeng ba lwantsha.
I've seen that even on social media.
Exactly.
Cool.
Ke rockwa ke batho be ke sa ba tsebeng be ke soka ke ba le contact le bona se ke dula le bona fatshe a utlwa hore motho ona ke mang o nahanang o buang and what not.
Yeah.
Batho ba ile ba njaja from what they heard. Ha ba ka batla ho nna ba mpotse ba wena ho fihle jwang pointeng ya go bue tsena ho Motheo.
Sure.
You know, but ha ya ba ntho e kleng ka e sheba hakalo. You know, and funny enough le teng ke la ba depressed na go telele a re jena go ke
You have all the time you need, dog.
ke la ba depressed for na go telele. Then I kept on pushing workshop in a radio, and ela tsosa lerato le ne ba tlele shwele hape ka ho nna la radio.
Yeah.
Le la tsoa hape. And I went to Motheo FM. Actually, thank you. And a big shout out to Motheo Rampeta.
Sure.
Motheo Rampeta, ke a bona ho la hlokela presenter ning, a kopa number tsa ka on Facebook, ke a founelwa ke XD, and boom, I was on Motheo FM.
Ah, Pralex, I love that guy.
I was on Motheo FM just like that. Yeah.
Boom, you leave Motheo FM.
Boom, I'm gone.
Dinta, nguvela mfethu.
Well,
Plus, go in the Free State province, I think, I'm not sure. I don't do radio. In the Free State province, Rona as Bamamedi, we regard Motheo FM as the biggest platform
yeah.
to learn, to inform, or whatever, to accumulate information, knowledge.
Yeah.
And we feel that the presenters at Wambo CUT, all these other platforms, Batlamea, Harry Tumelo Machakela is talented, disciplined, and whatever that is needed or required. Anali on other stations. When you get to Motheo, then we say you've made it in the Free State. And then when you leave Motheo, dog?
Yo, dog. I really leave the personal stuff out of it. Let me just say, it was hard for Nat to understand Motheo FM.
Cool.
At that time, I didn't know who I was broadcasting to. With CUTFM, I had a clear vision. Then, yeah, I decided to leave.
CUTFM before you guys go on air. The workshop was in Motheo FM before you go there. Did they talk to you, teach you some things? Don't you think that's a contribution towards you not knowing what are you doing here? Because basically, to me, that's what you are saying. You did not know what you are doing.
Yeah. How well presented you pick up the only thing a station is they don't care or askis. But they don't care.
So you have to see your and then you left.
And then I left. Setsoto. I was only there for
Cool.
I had the time of my life. Radio on site. I had the time of my life. I never enjoyed radio katsilaeno pele.
So how was the journey like? How do you decide to say go Setsoto? And did you leave that site for 2 months?
Just when I carpenter. So carpenter, I got a job that side, and then flirting in dula hoyona. Station I'm like, okay, I got to go to and then I gave feature so Chico panel programs manager and whatnot sharp. And then Kisendela DJ 051 toka Monahe message. Remember you still have some of my shows. I couldn't cut it on a smartphone Rumel Kadifa programs manager, then boom.
But before defeat the show to the battling Homanahing. You went there, got any paper?
Nope.
So all these radio stations.
I can't made trick. Limpatlang hat. But like it like hey, Kisena Steve Gate Kisibuhud. No.
So do you believe that when they say when something is meant for you, it is indeed for you.
Exactly.
So you've experienced that.
A whole.
Yeah. And then you leave Setsoto. And then you take few years already.
Ke khutlela tabeng ya workshop hape.
Wow. Every time you get off air, or you go workshop.
Ke ya workshop. Ke ruta bana ba bang ke share le bana ba bang. Ntho tse ke ithutileng tsona radio.
And then otsamaile CUT le semnati.
Yeah.
Today you are working ko CUT hape. How do you get back there? Take us through that. What happened?
Well, ho tsamayeng ha ka le the way dintho tse ding di latelana, even when I was no longer part of the station, ke ntse ke roa kwa ke batho and whatnot. I was angry. Ne ke kwatile bohloko. Ke ipotsa hore now ke eng se kana se le ntse ke santsona. You know. And sharpwa ke ne ke kwatile for dilemonyana tse pedi tse tharo. I didn't know hore na eng ke kopanya leng ha ke khutlela radio. I didn't even feel like being part of any radio station at that time. Ke la focus on the workshop. You know. Ke sa batla next sa hore ke iphumane ke le on air. I started a podcast, Jabali the presenter, we recorded a few shows, posted them, and response were good, you know. And then I go ahead, I was like, okay, I need to go back on air. Because like, the podcast in exhibits a mini, the workshop on exhibits a fan me. So why if you can go ile a rantse ke mamela mini sama ke re satane ka gona ntho e gotlang ka nna ka mona re ke khutele mo yi.
Yeah.
Ke satane e busy khohlana len.
Looks sure.
And then, well, I decided to forgive and forget everything. I even decided to forgive myself for that I delayed whatever was meant for me.
So, does this mean you feel you'll continue? Sorry for this. Do you feel like you are supposed to be somewhere than where you are?
Nope.
Ka radio chain.
Nope. This is where I am at, and this is where I wanna be for now. You know. So last year, the programs manager in Sqaured, we talk and Haruna Mono. Well, Rezamio convince hore ene se phoso ya ka ene se phoso ya hao hore dintho di etsaetse the way di etsaetse ka Judana da. But now because of
Bajidana dog.
Judana, you know? But because of now I had forgiven this person for because obviously into hore ang suspend big leg on that show. No, at some point I thought hore ono se happy ka show you etsa. That is the reason why ola bona le taba tsa di meeting tsa rona ntse ke postpone no and then. Ka batla mo tsa potso but now o tlamile bo mputsitse before. O ka decide ho tlo suspendela le bakanyana le sample so that o gone ba le ntwe ka ntlosa mo. You know. But I told him, Garana, I was never bitter. I never hated you. I was just angry. You know. Otherwise, now kilibets everything.
But then, from when the person that I know from Kovsie, I think as people we have special relationships with each and every individual. Family members, colleagues. What at that moment? How would you 1, 2, 3? And I think it's more than 10 people who are telling you, "Hore, MABOKOTHO is saying 1, 2, 3 about you." What is it that is stopping you from going and asking? You're not asking for your job back. King you stopping or several people have said, "Honna, you said 1, 2, 3 about me," of which that's not true. King you're wrong. What's stopping you?
The last time was because of response. So I decided this is not the person I want to talk with anything resolve. I would have to say because back then I was still with my baby mama, and she was able hore time and again and that this is not gonna be worth it. Because of it's still gonna go the same road and whatnot.
Cool. And then Fetu, at the moment, are you happy? Go where you working?
MABOKOTHO, dude, ke happy because of because of I have a job. I am doing a short course aside.
Cool.
And I get to do what I love the weekend.
And
all I needed was money, Baba.
and then how do you handle the pressure? Because I think you're still experiencing some of the challenges so nobody experienced then. And then what is it that you are doing differently to resolve these challenges?
Well, let me just start by saying, but we can on weekend. You know, and time and again we always remind ourselves, sorry, politics are spanning, they are not important. What is important is what you get to do on air. And I think under the new leadership, well, I listen to the House of Matata, and I love the way they address issues. If he has a problem, he comes direct to you.
Cool. Cool.
So it makes it easy for when you put in the environment.
Cool, man. And then let's talk about God, because most of the time when so mention Jesus. Do you think by far, I know, every day when you wake up, it means he has favored you.
When I wake up, I mean, number one, I do not deserve to be here on this planet. We all have a past. How can I past the whole of man? And you know, because of I believe we are against one another.
Yeah.
You know, but we do not deserve to be here.
Yeah.
So we are very lucky today. So I celebrate life more than I celebrate anything. I celebrate the fact that I'm alive each and every day more than I celebrate the achievements or anything.
Wow. Jeez. You've grown.
Hallelujah.
You've grown, dog.
That is what the programs manager said the last time. Anyways, yeah.
Are we talking the Dan programs manager?
Yeah.
Libua lately.
Yeah, no, we are not friends, but we talk.
How does it feel to work under Leila?
Let me just say, Homenad. You know, Leila gave me an opportunity today. I'm still thankful for that platform I'm feeling on. I went to CUTFM as a stand-in presenter.
Sure.
And by the way, shout out to Elfoza Hard. You know,
Alfoza!
Yeah. Mudimu udula sebedisa to open up the ditsela bophelong ba hao.
No matter how hard you work. Cool.
Elfoza ke hopola I left CUT ho ntso struggle ka license. As soon as station is still processing ho apply license,
sure,
he contacted me.
Sure.
This is what is going on. This is what is going on.
Cool.
And I was like, okay, Ricky. I was a stand-in. I was a stand-in presenter. Actually, I was supposed to be one. I went kalona pele ele training, so ke fitla ntse rotate to ka studio. Okay, ntse letsa di link. Okay. I did my link and Leila fella, wow. You know, I saw be on air. 3 weeks into this, actually 2 weeks into this thing, Leila Remana, at the time, take a music on, I study drama. I keep failing. Don't fail. Keep pass drama in a 18 years. How to do? Lo jaifa. Papa, why, papa? Yeah, down.
Loss.
So, I'm pizza guy out here no fishing. I remember ke batla ho tlo etsa afternoon drive. I'm like, hell to the yeah. Kira, no, this is what I've dreamed of. Let me just give it a shot. And Kile, and I gave it my all.
Your all, dog.
Yeah.
How does it feel for a guy at Wanko freedom, dog? Because freedom in Bloem is the most underrated place.
Le Watalandao.
Le water. It's like Bothabelo in Free State.
Oh, Harry get le pele ke se compare freedom le Botshabelo. Botshabelo ba tshwateng ba tshisa ditaere. Ha o so re bone re besa ditaere mona maboko.
But Bothabelo has produced. He has produced giants.
No, giants of news. Ka re compare le Botshabelo. Ba kwala shop tsa my friend ba tshisa ditaere. Ba le lekisa re sa re compare.
And then freedom renal maroma.
Guy.
But it is always Momi Milomung and Mahlong ya the society at large to say how to go freedom you are supposed to fall under a certain gangster and then how does it feel for you, Ore? You are doing these great things and then go freedom.
Number one, like I tell me, you know, to say, okay, kipelamo, kibonanto halamo. Do I wanna be part of these things? Set a different example for Baba Batlotlan Camera. Yeah. Then I wanted to set a different example. Got a few people when I'm on a radio
from your hood.
Yeah. I draw your way color. Oziba man Freedom Square in presenter. Oziba man Freedom Abuang Radio Atlantic.
Now do you get my point?
And I said to them, Moteki Motsebang Alien presenter Freedom Square.
That's me.
That was even before get on air. Hallelujah, and whatnot. You know, I just told myself, okay, sometimes you have to break the barriers.
Sure.
You have to hit obstacles very hard, and be able to bounce back. You know? I told myself, I'm setting an example, and even the people now are the very same people who come to me and say,
and then how do you handle such people, dog? Belongore, they have said things about you. Huena or Batumbaba.
Well, Rebato kaofela mo lefatshe. And if batho ba sa bui ka wena, it means ha ona letho le letsa.
You're doing nothing.
Batho ba tlamehile ba nne ba bue. Hape ha batho ba bua o rena le style sa hore ana ke na taba go batho ba re ke kgathalle batho. But sometimes ha o mamela batho ntho tse ba di buang, o sa mamele ka moya wa ho batla respond, but o mamela ka hore let me hear what is it that is being said. O khona hore le wena mo na le diphoso be correct.
Mamela ka kutlusisa.
Criticism ya bona elimpe ba ikemiseditse ho thuba ka yona. Wena e shebe in a constructive way.
How do you
maybe
use
there's
it?
something ka ilukisamo.
I love how you think, man. I love how you think. And then on the show, this is a very special show, Doc. Podcast.
Yeah.
I can see why I get a show.
No, get show papa. Get show wulle.
No. We've got comments here on the post, and the first comment is our Mamelo Musiele.
Yeah.
It's a comment. Arach na ki kopela le nsiele drink doch.
Mamelo ena so ba palatse.
Na le data mtho. And then there's Baleseng Sefadi. MABOKOTHO, please ask Stumaiza, did he knew that when he grew up, he is gonna be an entertainer and he's going to love it and do good in it? And is it something that came up, Jay?
Well, I would like to believe hore ke tswetse le yona. You know, because na sale ke le motho o buang haholo.
Sure.
You know, on weekends, ha mme wa ka a etsa bo washini and also my grandmother a le teng ba dutse plus asfate on tswetse wa shoot. I would stand there, ke bue haholo, ke ne ke etse dijoku ke pot be ba tsheya. And I knew hore there's something e ke tlameha ke tlo etsa. It just happened hore ke radio, you know. Ke a qala ke mamela bo radio haholo. Ele ha ke robala mona ne ke bea speaker ra ka moka ka moreng ke bulela volume ha kana nyana ke mametse radio. Ebile ntse ke jetsa mini maobane ke re, you know, ntwe ngwe e tsheisang ka passion is that it tla utsa ntho tse hlanyang. Ha ke robetse neng ka tsatsi le leng ke beile speaker ra mo radio ntse le la fatshe. O ke lo kwa ha ka wa tswanyana o seng le hona ntse ipala. Ke tsuile ho la track la next ka ke bula le mahlo. Le hona o utlwelang boroko ka ke etsa intro ngwana. And I woke up after like a spilling a smile. This is a sign ya hore this is the thing.
Wow. And then today you are living it.
Yep.
You are living radio, dog.
Haholo.
Wow. And then re na le comment e nngwe hape tswang ho Mpho Malaka. She says, where does he see himself in the next coming 5 years?
In the next coming 5 years.
It's 2020.
Yeah. Ke rata nedda.
It's 2020.
I know hore most oh sa fama dot. I know hore batho ba tla expect hore ke batla iphumana ke le SABC, you know, and whatnot. That is not my dream. Toro yaka is to build a radio station. E le hore tla ba competition ya the radio station e rona di presenters tsa Sesotho ba tla go mathela yona kaofela.
Come again.
Toro yaka ha se ho iphumana ke le SABC kwana. Toro yaka is to build a radio station e tla ba competition to that radio station e di presenters tsa Sesotho di batlang ho ya yona.
Whether it's commercial or community campus.
Ha re sana na kwa di community. We going commercial about. Toro yaka e kgola haholo. You know, ha modimo a o fa I ke motho o dumela hore if God gives you a vision, ha ba easy.
Yeah.
If Alpha Toro ha ba easy, he has faith in your abilities.
Sure.
Because kena I can say whatever it is e ka hare ho wena le toro e o nang le yona. The seeds are di planting hare ka hare ho rona. He knows hore na le bokgoni ba re ka di hlahisa lefatsheng mo.
Wow.
So do or die, no makanjani, that is going to happen.
Wow.
It is going to come to pass.
Abash.
Hantle tjena. Hallelujah.
And then re na le Tshepang le Kgelebana. A re ke kopa o mo botse why a hlapa tjena since a khutlela CUTFM hape. Kapa ba itse ba mo leleketse ho se hlape hantle kgetho la pele.
Like kitso. Ha ile tjena wena Tshepang. He Tshepang bophelo ke burevor.
It's a condensed milk.
He bophelo ke fatuku. E makhasa.
Ya ne be wang ka mogale mati.
Ha?
E be ntse scrop la pa yo. Mana a ke gona le fatuku ya ne se tabuile ya.
Di lahla. A re di etse scrop lapa. Scrop lapa ke va slapa ya mabokotho ya maoto. Rona ha rona. So
Araba Tshepang.
le Kgelebane ngwana mme. Ina sura ke hlape ne ke shota tšhelete sa. Ne ke shota nyuku sa.
Ana ke bona no mokaba o teng.
Ne ke shota nyuku ndwa.
Ditedu di teng.
A ke re ke ntata botho sa di ka jampi.
Ai so ga ba bafana.
Ne shota tšhelete.
And then re na le Mamello Musieleng. Are one of the best loving, humble, caring person I have ever met, and proud to say that Modimo o ipona ha di itse bophelong ba hae.
Yeah. Ke leboha haholo Mamello Musieleng. Enele ne kena kerekele.
Sure.
She was ordained as a junior pastor hana kereke mona kena teng.
Sure.
She's one of the people be lo rompontshitse hore eng kapa eng ya kgonahala lefatsheng.
Ka etsa ka
Yeah.
fihlela. Oh,
To peta sa papa.
Modimo moholo. And then re na le Sipho Phafane. Pafani or Pafan?
Pafani.
Yeah, Pafani. And I really don't have much to say. I just thank him for hosting radio workshops. I believe that he made the likes of Lavish. I can mention names about, so I just thank him a lot.
Kalebwa Pafani san. Enele one of my students in the workshop on Zaka. And Hanajale waits a show young yeah, Saturday Civic FM.
Civic FM.
Yeah.
It's an online radio.
It's an online radio station.
But how do you feel, dog, when you see the people you've mentored, you've shared knowledge with, but it's so amazing things, dog. Because but Civic FM, they doing great things.
Whole.
Including the chick. Yeah.
Lena, she was one of my students.
And Levish, yeah.
Okay.
You know, you can sleep.
Because of
Yeah, dog.
Frek I go balance. Kaichwella, I get well saying it's why get Tabile, give at lots when I pick up a pillow, give at a challenge inch.
Renali kinanta temalepe. Hal, my visual social media. I don't have a question for this guy. I just have mad love for him and I'll forever support him. Hashtag Skimsa Jehovah. Hashtag Happy Day
Center.
Aiwe.
Man, Kinanta Temale Pelebhan Junior Ali. As one of the people Becky Klang Horenkaleba Mudimuka Kabupilobabona every time.
Sure.
Daimani before Kopanak showing Kilima 3 years go fail.
Sure.
Mutisalanza Mamela. Each and every day station again here. Malepon and Mamela.
Yeah.
You know. Salans and support.
Sure.
Even through the tough times,
Sure.
By Huale and Afel, I learned with a Heman. Nseko Laura Hutlets radio, Nseko Batla radio. Kore Mudimu Obanazebo Holobahai, Kadayaman. So he's one of the people back at our level, Mudimu Kawana. Ibila Haketa.
Okay, do me a work at
highly visualized Hanala.
I so Hamba Bafa. Hamba Bafa.
Let's get them about.
This guy and then we're moving to the last part of the show. A very interesting part. A part which I believe most people watch this podcast because of this part. It's called the hot seat. We're asking you questions. Only one question you answer, or we give you two options. You have to choose between the two.
Okay.
Go.
Hurry.
Question number 1. Would you rather frame your best friend for a crime you committed or be framed for a crime you didn't commit?
I maka frame you. Maka frame you. Otlo frame you. I maka frame you.
Why dog?
Look salifat. I frame you. I can't go to the exam.
And then frame a motomo, but how about yes your way?
I create the obsidian pedi. It's either a frame or a frame. Hats are my
Question number 2. Do you prefer to call or to text?
I can text.
Why?
No, I can't do nothing phone. Nene o tla tloa phone bo utlwa seriti se feta.
One day o tla texta, bo textetse moruti. Amo itse fela, e dog ke magile ngwana o. La hore e ke no moruti phone be tima.
MABOKOTHO ke a sheba. Ha ke batli kile ka send a message yo wrong. Ke a sheba.
Question number 3. Would you rather get stuck on a roller coaster or in an elevator?
Yirba ba man.
Rona re bana ba
Hey, roller coaster, elevator.
Jesus.
Bogolo coaster ne ka nna sta ka hloya o shebetse fatshe. A re ka ibetse ngwaneso.
Mona o nna le fifi kana because I stuck maybe ke load shedding le mollo wa tima.
No, I get bone ba ra dintho di mo tla ra le rona. Ke tla ga o di mo re bona re tswale ba.
TV entse bophelo bo be simple.
Se go ra no. Na ga se re tla bona pele.
These guys.
Bogolo coaster mo.
Question number 4. Who is the best broadcaster or radio personality at CUTFM?
Hana jwale tjena.
Hana jwale tjena.
Ke bitse ba ba ka le mo.
Le monto ka mnwana.
How we keep it about bidding? Let me not go. Let me not go for my friend there. Kato fana mini kiwa hoyana ba game khotjwak. He's good. So let's just say honale ausi barake Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T. She's very good.
She's very good.
How?
What makes her stand out? So maybe how na fella. So cause it's you again na le mo.
Because ke Miss T sound as well
Oh,
Miss T.
cool.
Okay, simutuli.
Simple as that.
Ke simutuli le ga.
Simple as that.
Antlechi.
And then since you are in the radio industry or radio world, give me your top 5 out of all these radios that you know.
Radio stations or presenters?
Presenters.
Okay. Arkalemona, there's a guy 5FM. Bamitsa Roger Good.
Roger Good.
Yeah,
Cool.
he's good.
Alifua fela libitso le.
good.
Yeah. Random linje.
Siyabiza nje.
It's his top 5 nje.
And then there's a guy SAFM, Eldrin Simpia. He's very good. Radio 2000 we have Bongani Mtolo, Le Just Ice Matsubane.
Radio 2000.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then Rebele Sipati Sioke. That is my top 5.
I just wanted.
That's one limit to get like MABOKOTHO.
Akusebenzisa radio mre. Oh, bua ka batho kana. Ke braya ka ke mo rata ure.
I don't know where I got Rodman jwang. Rodman like.
But I always knew that one of them, Lamia, if it was Sesotho.
Yeah.
Why do you like doing radio ka Sesotho, dog?
Hey, fit. Sesotho sa rona sa cha. Sa shwa. Ntse re le teng.
Cool.
Wa bona. Me ke ho nna ho wena bona le wena o itse ka Sesotho.
Yeah.
Television.
Yeah, man.
So, ha re tshireletse language ya rona. O no tseba hore hona le there's a country bitswang Peru. Hona le ngwe ya di documentary tsa bona tsene tse ke di shebeletse ke lebetse language eno ya bona e bitswa eng ne? Language kore batho bana ba bua language e kaofela toropong e hana jwale.
Cool.
Ba bua in country actually. Ba bua English kaofela. Diamond ke na fela setseng a le wana bua language ya da. So ha yena ka tshaya ho fedile ka language ya bona. Yeah. So ho gona hore re isireletse.
But okay. You said about ipona le ko
Yeah, nah.
service.
Nah.
Because I wanted to ask her, doing radio in Sesotho, does it have some limitations? If maybe you get an offer go metro, there's no radio into shoots as Sesotho there.
Ai. KG life la ya lesedi. Le nna ke tla metro.
Okay. All right, and Jaga Hlamana, we really appreciate your time and we really appreciate you. That's why we invited you here. This is one of the shows where we celebrate people, especially our Free State-based personalities, not only in the entertainment industry, but our community at large.
Okay.
And the reason we came up with this is because we want to share our story with the world, and YouTube by far is the only platform offering to share our stories with the world. And we believe you are one of the people in the Free State Belongore. They need to be celebrated. We can't give you $1 million at the moment, but
Thank you very much.
we can tell you to your face, dog, that you're doing good. Keep on doing good.
Ke a leboha MABOKOTHO. Le wena keep on doing good. You know, funny enough, I got actually ke last year ha ntse ke bua le motho mo ke mlela ke you know you look at people like MABOKOTHO where he started le mo a leng teng hana jwale you know focus baba focus focus o ka rekela Bloemfontein focus so re leba modimo le ka batho ba tshwana le wena so keep on inspiring batho ba bang.
Yeah, man. And you are the fourth person to come here, and all of you've mentioned God, and myself, I believe in God. That's why I'm saying, go and do wonders. Go kick doors, and the world know this much so far. We believe, from here to the future, you'll do bigger things.
No, next time har kopana tla kopana re bua ka radio station.
Abash.
Hallelujah.
Abash.
Amen.
This was Take Me Through Your Journey with MABOKOTHO and the guy Tumelo Machakela. We out.
Tada.
Tanki bafethu. Rashapilende ya rashapile rauno ka Rockland Bloemfontein, and we are live with the one and only Awuditami. Why are you wena? Why are you wena ke kunya mathi? Tell me the juicy part of why we're here.
The juicy one.
Yeah, you are an ambassador, HIV and AIDS.
Yeah, yes.
Under SAPS.
Under SAPS.
Take me through that.
Hell, it's a long story, ne?
Sure.
You
have all the time you need.
In 2011, I reckon in 2010, ne ke la ka qala ke kula ke la bona ke ba le di maoto ka rurua.
Cool.
Ke ba le something in a matakara mpa ka mping wa bona.
Cool.
Ine ka re enkwala moya hin.
Sure.
So but be ke sa nkele hlong ke la bona ga tsamaya ga ya mme wa ngaka o a itse re fitla mo mme wa ngaka ka fitla amplela gore o jisitse. Motheo o dula le yena pele ke ke dula le motho pele. Then be re agwana ba tsama so a fitla a tshwara Motheo re o dula le yena pele o jisitse so tla me a re sentse se jo se wa bona. Then okay be ke dumela nna o tla ona nixeng ke la ke etse bang wa bona be ke dumela a nritella tla re mo ba nsebetsa.
Sure.
So daireng ena e ne ba sharp ena e mathanka mona e ne ba sharp ha ke nna moriana.
Cool.
But in sa feel in sa tlowe
ke moriana wa mmeo.
Ke moriana wa mmeo. But daireng ena in sa feel in ba fela e ka re ya robala wa bona nako ya ka e ka re ya e ba serious jwang.
Cool.
Ya no se kala ke lose weight. Maotwana ka yana asa go bua go ya no mo feta wa bona jolo ka pele daireng ena na ya re ine nkwala e ke sa gone heme e ka re wa bona e ka re batla go tsa ka moloma ke go dutse ntse ke sebetsa mangong ka nako yo.
Sure.
So itse ke thewa da so wa ke tsamile fela bikinyana man be ke gutla wa bona ke sala taxi morao.
Cool.
Taxi ya ne toropong ke sala morao ke ya Pilinong ke utla mana ga man ha ke sharp.
At this moment all you know is ha ke sharp.
No ha ke sharp.
Cool.
Ha ke sharp. So ha se ke dutse mo stulo man ke tletse maoto le nthina ne tsamaya ka mona ha se ke dutse da mene so mo ga ba hlaya ha hlaya o fitla re mo rona are batho sometimes re le dinese ha ke tsebe go tshwere ke eng ke tlo botsa go hloko kae then nna ke tla be go bolela di symptoms tsa ntho e hore but ha wena o ka iketsetsa bobebe wa ya ka man ka fitla ba testa to tswekere HIV, TB, or o check everything. Ere ha o tloa ka mane o tla ka honna nna tla be ke tseba go tshwere ke
get straight to the point.
at least ka bo tsebile o na le eng. Okay ka dula ra ke dutse ntho ka etsang boma 30 minutes ke inahana asking myself some questions. Tell me what if we are come then you find out that you are HIV positive. O tlo etsa wa eba ke ipotsa gore ke ipotsa dipotso tseo ma ha ke fumane karabo. Ha ke fitla ka mo ka a qala bua le nna ang cancela bua le nna itse ke tong cancela an testa ha ke tong testa kan cancel mai yon sa dilase jwale sai bon ya ba ke dutse da ntse ke ya ba eng ka e ka pela ka ye a re ngala ke tsela ene e wane ke jwang ka ha le jwang ke re ke ha le negative a di le pedi ke re ke positive a re ya wane so jwalo e mai bon then tse ke ta mo ra mare he ke kopa o ske ba ska na bophelo bo fedile bophelo ba hao qala mona mo tjena na wena ko bolela bophelo ba hao qala mo o ya pele ka bophelo ba hao ke hona e leng back to what to reality because ya no dipotso tse le tsa ka tse le di a kena maybe ha ke tswa mona na ba tlo mpona hore una khatile ke go re ntse ntse iplela yona tla I stigmatized myself before people can stigmatize me. All the stigma kenna